Are you looking for forgotten records? Are you looking for things that may be out there that you don't know anything about? Well, this is one of those things. Your family could be among the thousands that have been included in this forgotten record. And if you are looking for ancestors, whether you have a brick wall and you want to extend them, or whether you just want to find out more information of people that lived like between 1780 and 1840, you need to know about this record. So I'm Aimee Cross, and I am here to help you take your genealogy to the next level. And the way we're going to do that today is with the Draper Manuscript Collection. The Draper Manuscript Collection is a wonderful resource that's a little bit harder to get into, but it's amazing. And the reason that I want to tell you about this is because so many people are not even aware of its existence. Now, I have done professional research projects for over 250 clients. And so often my professional work is helping people work with their ancestry before 1850, when we're talking about this time period where the census records just don't help us quite as much. Records are harder to find, things are harder to discover, and this is a record group that could be helpful for you. Now, I do have a handout available for this video. I'm reducing the cost because I want you to be able to just pick it up. And the reason being is I've got a ton of links in it and a bunch of information that will help you navigate this record group a lot better. I can't put them all into the video description. So I wanted to make it something that you could get. You can purchase the handout from my Etsy page. The link is in the video description down below. You just click on the information about the video and click on more and you'll see what you need to see. Or you can join Aimee's crew. Now, as a member of Aimee's crew, you have access to the handouts each month for free, but you also have access to my live stream where I'm working on my family tree, answering your questions along the way. So it's a great way for you to interact with me, ask me some questions, see what I'm doing, maybe learn a little bit from me, and it's great to be part of Aimee's crew. So join that. All right, so let's dive into this record group. Why is it important? What's in there and how could it help you? Is your ancestor among the thousands that are in this record group? Look at this. There are tons and tons of manuscripts here. There are 491 volumes. They've been compiled into 50 manuscripts. The Draper Manuscript is a great place for military buffs. Don't shoot. Revolutionary War records are in here and information about battles. The War of 1812 and other Indian wars. These are in this. There's a lot of first-hand accounts of experiences during these wars and information about battles and stuff like that you may not find anywhere else. There is information about families, who their parents were, who their children were. It's wonderful. There's also information about the times. By reading some of the Draper manuscripts and some of the letters and other correspondence and other information that was gathered, you are going to get a much better picture about what life was like for your ancestors. So what can you find? Let's get into a little bit more specifics. You can find something like this. Now, this is a letter that somebody wrote to Lyman Draper, thus they're called the Draper Manuscripts, where she talks about, I am Mrs. Nancy McLew. I'm age 78. You've got an age. I'm a widow of Cyrus McLew, and who was the son of Alexander McLew and the brother of Thomas. They descend through John and Scylla, his wife. We have a female name here. We're of Scottish descent. And then this record goes on to name the children. Something like this, if you can't find it anywhere else, oh my gosh, this is gold. That's the thumbnail, gold. So what facts can you find in a record like this? You can find names. You can find birth, marriage, death dates, and places. You can find parents or other family members. You can find residences. You can find life sketches, names of neighbors, notes of involvement in historical events and military battles and things like this, okay? Here's another example of a great record that their grandfather Craig was killed at Hanging Rock, and another one of Colonel Thomas Hardin, son of Colonel William Hardin. He was born on the 21st of July, 1787. This kind of stuff is so valuable, and yet very few people know about this record group. You can also find maps. Now, this was a copy of a declaration. Thomas Gill, the declaration was dated September 3rd, 1832. He was drafted as a militiaman in the Camden district of South Carolina. And it goes on to some of his military experiences, who he served with, where he marched. Oh my gosh, guys, can you get it? This is so valuable. In 1774, Dunmore, governor of Virginia, marched into the Indian country and had a treaty with them. Included can be assessment books where they go over, these are tax books, all right? Now, tax books can be found on Family Search and in state archives, but some of them were damaged or destroyed. You might find a tax book in here that you've not been able to find anywhere else. There were newspapers in here. Now, some of these newspapers, like this one, The Free Trader, is actually available on newspapers.com. But some of the little clips in here may not be. All right, this may be the only place you might find this newspaper. So what is the Draper collection? How did it come to be, and where can you find it? Lyman Copeland Draper was born in 1815 and died in 1891. He was fascinated with history from the time he was a young boy, and he corresponded with early settlers. He served as the secretary of the State Historical Society of Wisconsin, who own his work now. His work was given to them. He planned to write a series of biographies, but he never finished them. Thus, the 491 manuscript books that we saw earlier. All right, some of the collection have been included in books. This is an example on Amazon of some of this collection. Now, the Wisconsin Genealogical Society divided the collection, or combined it actually, into 50 different collections. And they're organized by geographical location or by person. And sometimes you might find, this is a lot of the papers from volume 4 of the collection, of the 50. This is just volume 4 of the 50. So some of them you can find. Some different papers and manuscripts are on Internet Archive, and you can take a look at them there, and you can even search them there, but not even close to all of them. There's just select pieces, as well as some of his other published works. Here's an example of Internet Archive looking up one of the papers, and you can search for a particular word inside the manuscript collection, which is what I did here. I just put in the word Virginia, and this showed me where I could find Virginia mentioned in this particular document. Now, how do you find your family in these 491 volumes? You can search by the ancestor's name. Make sure that you include alternate spellings and or members of their fan group, which is friends, associates, and neighbors. This isn't an indexed, a really well-indexed collection, okay? It's going to take some work. You can also search by place. You can search by series to determine in which manuscript series the answers would most likely appear. And then if you don't find them, you can still browse the appropriate series anyway, because the indexes may not be complete. Now, with full text searching that has become available, my hope is that more of this series may become available to people. AI is changing the world, but right now, this is where we stand. Where can you search for these people? There isn't one index that covers everything. Yeah, I know, and I'm sorry. There isn't, okay? So where can you search? You can go to 3 different guides that have been produced that give you some different places to go. And in my handout, I go into these in more detail, even particularly what pages to look at in these various guides that can give you the information that you need. The problem that I found with this collection is that you can't find everything in one place. And so that's why I wanted to do this video. You find some information at the Wisconsin Historical Society. You find some information at Family Search. You can find some things in other different places. So I've compiled all of this into this one handout. I really hope this is helpful for you. All right, so you've got these 3 indexes. Let's get back to these indexes. The Guide to Draper Manuscripts by Josephine Harper, the Index to the Draper Manuscripts by Barbara Schill-Wolf, and the Descriptive List of Manuscript Collections of the State Historical Society by Reuben Goldthwait. All right, those are the 3 main indexes. And the descriptive list is online, and you can download that book. Yay! Something is online and helpful. So the link to the descriptive list on Family Search is in the handout. But if you go into the Family Search library and you search for it, you may be able to find it on your own. Once you get to this page where you have this information, and then you're looking at the document, and you can kind of flip page by page. This is page 1 of 211 pages. You can zoom in and you can zoom out. You can go from one page to the next, and you can go by this book page by page. This book is wonderful. It has a lot of really terrific information in it. Now, Family Search has a series coverage table, and by the way, the entire coverage table has been included in my handout. It goes over every book of the 50 series and kind of talks about what's in that series, okay? When you get into the series, and the only place to view the series is at the Family Search Library in Salt Lake City. There are other places too, and I have a listing in my handout of every library that has purchased a full series set that has every book in the series. I have that in my handout. Now, the Draper Manuscript Collection, when you get on it, it looks like this. And you'll see this is volume 1 of the Irvine papers, okay? And the pages will look like this. And within the manuscript, you may see some chronicle indexes and things like that, and as some of the first few images of a particular part of the series, all right, which can give you more information. Now, this index was kind of divided by name of people that had been serving in the Revolutionary War. Now, you can visit the Wisconsin Historical Society yourself and actually see these manuscript pages. They have it. They have the whole series. So if you live in Wisconsin and you want to go check it out, by all means do so. You can also pay them to look something up for you, and I have the details of that in my handout as well. But there are copies of this entire series in most states. So my handout has a listing of all of them. You can also get a listing at the Wisconsin Historical Society. They can give you the information on where you can go for that. My last thought for you is, if you take the time to look at this series, and particularly if you find something in it, would you please put it in the comments? I would love to hear that. But if you take the time to look at the series, please, please, please make sure that in this instance that you make sure you cite your sources, that you write down where you found the information, that you can go back and find it again. Because when you go into something like this and you're looking at something and you're looking microfilm image by microfilm image, you want to take the time to document what you've looked at, maybe what you haven't taken a look at, where you found something. Don't be sloppy, okay? Be really careful about this. I really hope this series can help you find something about your ancestors that lived in the late 1700s, early 1800s. The information and the things that are out there for this group of people is really not plentiful. So I'm hoping that this can help you if you've hit a brick wall or if you just want to find out more. Anyway, good luck. Again, there's information in the video description on how you can find my handout. You can also click this link right here. And if you want to find out more about researching your family during this time period with some other suggestions, check out this video right here on researching in the 1700s. Late 1700s, early 1800s even. It goes into that time period as well. It will help you out. Have a great day.